Are you ready to start learning the process of how my assistant manages my email and calendar? If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lai Lacaba. I run a virtual assistant company called 2XU, and I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, this is part two of a series that me and my assistant are doing on how she does different tasks inside of my business, just so you can have a sneak peek of behind the scenes of how we do what we do. Hopefully, you've already seen part one, which is how we do our daily, weekly, and monthly meetings. And this is going to be walking you through how she manages my email and my calendar. Now, I always have thought my email and calendar as a way that she manages the input. She manages the way things get into my attention, into my being. So, as an entrepreneur, your email and calendar usually are the things that will take up a lot of your time. So, I'm going to walk you through how I do it with my assistant, Honey.
Hi.
And we're going to walk you through that whole process. So, the first part of delegating your email and calendar to a virtual assistant is setting expectations. So, what I mean by setting expectations is making it clear to them how you want your email and calendar to look like. So, what I mean by this is, for example, for me, I do like getting to inbox zero as much as I can. And I set this expectation with Honey right off the bat of like, hey, I want you to clean as much as you can. If there's something you have no idea what to do, I'll take care of it. So that's kind of me setting expectations with her. So with you and your assistant, it could be that you set a system where like, hey, I want to only see email from clients or potential clients. I don't want to see, employee reports or anything like that. Again, up to you and your business on what works. But setting expectations really early on helps it to get to the point where your assistant kind of just knows what you want to see and what you don't want to see. So again, it's that setting expectations that makes it easier right off the bat. And same thing with your calendar. Do you want to know every single time they make a change? Do you want them to have certain templates that they want to use? And we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And what are different things that you want to make sure never gets added to your calendar? And what are things that you know should never be moved? So, as an example, in a previous video that I just did on how to get your assistant to manage your calendar, this is kind of where labels come in. So, for example, for me, I have mountain meetings, which are meetings that can never be moved. That's why it's called mountain meetings. I have boulder meetings where they can be moved, but it's harder to do. I have rocks meetings where it's easier to move them if needed. Pebbles are usually meetings that I don't have to be there at all, or I could even just delete them off of my calendar. So we do this assessment once in a while to just see if she understands what I need. And again, that's the importance of setting that expectation. Next is setting then the system of like, how often does your assistant check, and also setting the system of what are the things that she needs to keep in mind when she's cleaning your inbox or your calendar, or even setting appointments with people and sending them calendar invites. So, what does that system look like for you? And it could be you walking them through how you currently do it and how you expect them to upgrade that or to make it happen where you don't even have to see what they're doing. So the next thing that you need to make sure that is set up is creating the templates. Now the templates is basically two main things, is like how do they respond? What does your calendar invites look like? So for example, on how they respond is Honey and I have a list of how she will answer the different queries, how she will forward certain things. So basically we just have a database of the templates that we've built over in the last couple of months of working together of how she can respond to different usual types of emails that I do get. That way, it's easy for her to just respond as herself. And as well for calendar invites, she also knows what should go in there because then it can set expectations for reminding me what that event is for. If it's an onboarding with a client, if it's a first call with a client, I can know just by looking at the notes in the calendar. Now, without further ado, let me have Honey kind of take the reins a little bit and help you through how she manages my calendar. Honey, you ready?
I'm ready.
So go ahead and share your screen and walk us through how you manage my email.
In managing Lian's email, there are three things that I usually do. First one is to filter the emails. Second one is to archive the emails. And then the third one is to label that email. So what do I mean by filtering emails is I need to determine which emails are unnecessary for Lian to see inside her inbox. And after filtering those emails, I'll then go ahead and archive those emails. So what do that look like is, for example, these emails that I've selected is unnecessary for Lian to see inside her inbox. So what I need to do is to mark that as read and then archive those emails. So as you can see, it's not already in the inbox since it's already moved to the archive. So we're done with filtering emails. So again, emails that are unnecessary for them to see, such as emails coming from tools, emails coming from subscriptions, and other emails like spam emails from other people. So those are unnecessary and should not be inside the inbox. So again, mark as read and then archive. Archiving is better than deleting. So if Lian and I need to go through some kind of emails, we can actually grab those emails easily instead of just deleting it right off the bat. So that's the purpose of archiving the email. So we're done with filtering, archive. Next one is labeling the email. So here are the important labels as I manage Leanne's email. First one is to exit team. So these emails are very important since it came from the Reyes and any other members within the team. And then next one is action needed. So action needed is simply emails that are urgent and needs immediate action or immediate reply from Leanne. Next one is my task or any task. This task should be tracked as well in order for me to grab things easily and do what is needed within the day, or if there are any other things that are ongoing that are on my task, it should be tracked as well. Next one is Ninja. So these emails are important just because most of it are updates from the company. So Ninjas are members of the company that are not within 2XU. So Leah needs to know everything what's going on within the company in order for her to be updated as well. Next one is please read. So please read and action needed are two different things. So please read are just letting Leah know that you should read this, you should read that for you to be able to know what's email about. And it's for you to decide whether you have to take action of that or just leave it there. And then sent by me, of course, as I manage Leanne's emails, there are emails from clients or any other people that needs reply as needed. So Leanne needs to track that one for her to check what are the things that I've sent to clients and to other people for her to give feedback on what to do better and what do the things that I did well. Next and the last thing is waiting. So waiting is just emails that needs approval before moving forward to the next step. So basically these emails needs approval first. So that's why it's on. So again, filter, archive, labels. That's the main three things that I usually do when managing Leanne's email.
So the way that that system rolled out between me and Honey is I did walk her through, okay, these are the labels that I want to see. These are things that I don't want to see, like, subscriptions or emails from nonsense, spam emails. So she makes sure that she cleans that out. And one thing that I did kind of forget to mention is the way that I was able to delegate my email to her is with us using G Suite. There's a way that I can add her as someone who can just look at my email and not use it as a login. It's just basically just an added account on the side for her Gmail. So that's how she's been always able to go through and use the templates that we have already on file for her to be able to just respond to emails as me. A lot of people who usually go into my inbox don't even know that they're interacting with Honey and not me, which is kind of the magic and something that hopefully you and your system can get to. Now, next thing is how she manages my calendar. Honey, do you want to walk us through that process?
In managing the ends email, this is how I usually do it. But before I walk you through the process, imagine that this calendar right here is full of meetings and events. By familiarizing those mountain meetings, boulder meetings, rocks meetings, pebbles meetings, it is easier for me to identify which meeting should be moved around or can be moved around, which meetings should stay no matter what happens, and then which meetings should stay but can be moved around as needed. So first things first, you need to have your template, of course. So as for me, I have here my template stored in a Notion database, of course. So these are the type of meetings that Leanne usually have. Let's say Leanne asked me to schedule a meeting tomorrow, which is a deep dive call with a client at, let's say, 3 p.m. So what I have to do is to double click, and then I can see the ad title right there, right off the bat. So the title should be simple and concise and can be easily understood. For example, if Leanne saw that meeting in her calendar, she can definitely tell what that meeting could be about. So let's say XYZ deep dive call. So we have there the title already. Next thing, we need to check the date, which is tomorrow. Then, of course, the time, which is, let's say 3 p.m. So a deep dive call usually lasts about 30 minutes. So that should be 3 o'clock to 3:30 p.m. So now we have the date and the time. Let's proceed to the location. So, of course, this is a virtual meeting. So the location should be Zoom link or the Zoom meeting or the Zoom room. So here in my template, there are two different links. One is for personal Zoom and then the other one is for clients. So deep dive call is for clients. So I need to grab the link for clients. So just copy and then paste it to the location. So after I have that Zoom link already, I will go ahead and check and make sure that that calendar invite should be on Leanne's calendar, not mine. So I'm just gonna select Leanne. So here are my templates. It already have a description right off the bat so that I can easily grab those things and then paste it here in the add description. So once I have that description, I will go ahead and add the guest or add the people who are involved with a certain kind of meeting. Let's say, for example, me. So I'm going to add myself and then it's automatically added. So after the guest, I will go ahead and check everything from the title, the date and time, uh, the location, which is the Zoom link or the Zoom room, and then make sure that it's on Leanne's calendar, not mine, and then add a description. And of course, lastly, add the guest. Again, the people who are involved to that meeting. After that, you just have to double and triple check, then hit save, and then hit send. After I hit the send button, it automatically be sent to the guest. And of course, I will make sure that those guests or clients respond to the calendar invite before the meeting so Leanne and I could follow up with them.
So that's essentially how she manages getting, invites through, making sure that she's using the right template, double checking again who she's sending it to. So I'm going to show you guys really quickly what my calendar looks like. I have kind of blurred out a lot of the things because of course a lot of it is private information about client meetings and team meetings that I have. I'll walk you guys through what the busy really means. So here is what my calendar looks like. So here you see a lot of busy because those are the parts of my calendar that's filled up. So here, for example, right now we're recording about 4 p.m. This is when we're kind of slotted as we're going to record. Other days I'll have things that overlap each other. So what Honey and I do at the beginning of the week is we usually look at these. So like, does something need to be moved? Does something have to be canceled? Or does she have to contact someone to like, hey, can we reorganize this or can we move this to another date? So then things like these don't happen as often. Now I can explain what these are. This is me booking out the time that I was flying here to Cebu. And then these are my lunchtime. So I make sure that I put a lunchtime on there because sometimes I will forget. This is a meeting that I usually do have on Wednesdays. So it's kind of blocked out. I try to make my lunch earlier than that. So it's not really that these are overlapping. It's mostly because just I have something that's already happening at that time and I blocked out my lunchtime. But every Monday, as I mentioned in the previous video on how we do our weekly meetings, is that we go through my calendar to make sure nothing is overlapping, things are clean, and so on and so forth. So I know it kind of looks crazy how it looks like, but we usually have labels that we use for each type of the invite so that I know what this is. There's usually different colors that we use for, again, the mountain, the boulder, the rocks, the pebbles meetings. But sadly, this is only the only thing that I can show you guys without like showing everything on my calendar. But this is one of the things that we do every single week to make sure, again, that I don't miss anything. I'm there where I need to be and there's nothing conflicting. And again, that's essentially how she works on my email and on my calendar. calendar was easier to share just because on Gmail you can just give someone, access to be able to edit things on their calendar and add things to the calendar. Depending on what tool that you use, that can be as easy or as hard. One of the other things that Honey makes sure that she does is, one of the ways people can book meetings with me is through Calendly. That's another tool that we use. So she double checks if someone booked a client call but they're an applicant. She checks them and makes sure to email them like, "Hey, we need to reschedule. We need to move this, or we need to cancel because you're not actually the right kind of person for this kind of call." So it's kind of filtering people through, making sure that they're the right people before I even show up for that call. Now, Honey, do you have any other tips for people who want to learn more about how to effectively delegate their email or calendar to their assistant, or if there are assistants out there who are watching this want to be better at managing their clients' email and calendar?
So, if you are a person who is working with a virtual assistant, email and calendar management tasks are probably one of the things that you should delegate right off the bat. So, for these things or for this process to go smoothly or effectively, you just have to set a proper context and goal with your virtual assistant and what specific things you want to see in your emails, what specific things that should not be touched, only you has to manage that one. You have that certain key points for your assistant to know and of course start learning them as they work with you moving forward. And to those virtual assistants who are working with their respective clients as well, my tip is that you should always ask for a clarity. You should ask for questions if there are certain things that you're not sure about. You should always ask your client for a proper context on what are the things that should be done in order for you and your client to work effectively. So basically, in managing the emails and calendars, you just have to be detail oriented. You should have that attention to details specifically to work with a certain task properly and effectively. You just have to be confident as well that you can do the task properly, and then of course ask questions as much as you can to have that context moving forward as you and your client will be working together that could foster that good working relationship.
Amazing. There you guys go. There's nuggets of wisdom right there. Now, if you guys have more questions on how she manages my email calendar, please let us know in the comments below and hit like if this is the kind of content that you guys want to see a little bit more of. I saw the comments from the last video that you guys really want more of these types. So we're kind of thinking of what other kinds of videos and tasks of Honey that we can cover of how she does it for me. And we might invite even other 2XU assistants on these kinds of videos just so you can see behind the scenes of how they do it. If you guys still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. And make sure to check out those two playlists right here and the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And remember that small steps matters. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.